Kevin David Mitnick is an American computer security consultant, author and hacker. In 1999, he was convicted of various computer and communications-related crimes. At the time of his arrest, he was the most wanted computer criminal in the United States. He now runs a security firm named Mitnick Security Consulting, LLC that helps test a company's security strengths and weaknesses, and is the chief hacking officer of security awareness training company KnowBe4. Mitnick is an active advisory board member at Zimperium, a mobile defense firm that develops a mobile intrusion prevention system. Early life, Mitnick grew up in Los Angeles and attended James Monroe High School. He was enrolled at Los Angeles Pierce College and USC. For a time, he worked as a receptionist for Stephen S. Wise Temple. Computer hacking. At age 15, Mitnick used social engineering to bypass the punch card system used in the Los Angeles bus system. After a friendly bus driver told him where he could buy his own ticket punch, he could ride any bus in the greater LA area using unused transfer slips he found in the trash. Social engineering became his primary method of obtaining information, including usernames and passwords and modem phone numbers. Mitnick first gained unauthorized access to a computer network in 1979, at 16, when a friend gave him the phone number for the ARC, the computer system Digital Equipment Corporation used for developing their RSTSE operating system software. He broke into DEC's computer network and copied their software, a crime he was charged with and convicted of in 1988. He was sentenced to 12 months in prison followed by 3 years of supervised release. Near the end of his supervised release, Mitnick hacked into Pacific Bell voicemail computers. After a warrant was issued for his arrest, Mitnick fled, becoming a fugitive for 2.5 years. According to the U.S. Department of Justice, Mitnick gained unauthorized access to dozens of computer networks while he was a fugitive. He used cloned cellular phones to hide his location and, among other things, copied valuable proprietary software from some of the country's largest cellular telephone and computer companies. Mitnick also intercepted and stole computer passwords, altered computer networks, and broke into and read private email. Mitnick was apprehended on February 15, 1995, in Raleigh, North Carolina. He was found with cloned cellular phones, more than 100 cloned cellular phone codes, and multiple pieces of false identification. Arrest, conviction, and incarceration. After a well-publicized pursuit, the FBI arrested Mitnick on February 15, 1995, at his apartment in Raleigh, North Carolina, on federal offenses related to a 2.5-year period of computer hacking. In 1999, Mitnick confessed to 4 counts of wire fraud, 2 counts of computer fraud and 1 count of illegally intercepting a wire communication, as part of a plea agreement before the United States District Court for the Central District of California in Los Angeles. He was sentenced to 46 months in prison plus 22 months for violating the terms of his 1989 supervised release sentence for computer fraud. He admitted to violating the terms of supervised release by hacking into Pac-Bell voicemail and other systems and to associating with known computer hackers, in this case co-defendant Louis DePayne. Mitnick served 5 years in prison €4.5 years pre-trial and 8 months in solitary confinement because, according to Mitnick, law enforcement officials convinced a judge that he had the ability to start a nuclear war by whistling into a payphone, meaning that law enforcement told the judge that he could somehow dial into the NORAD modem via a payphone from prison and communicate with the modem by whistling to launch nuclear missiles. He was released on January 21, 2000. During his supervised release, which ended on January 21, 2003, he was initially forbidden to use any communications technology other than a landline telephone. Mitnick fought this decision in court, eventually winning a ruling in his favor, allowing him to access the Internet. Under the plea deal, Mitnick was also prohibited from profiting from films or books based on his criminal activity for 7 years, under a special judicial Son of Sam law variation. Mitnick now runs Mitnick Security Consulting LLC, a computer security consultancy. Controversy: Mitnick's criminal activities, arrest, and trial, along with the associated journalism, were all controversial. Though Mitnick has been convicted of copying software unlawfully in possession of several forged identification documents, his supporters argue that his punishment was excessive. In his 2002 book, The Art of Deception, Mitnick states that he compromised computers solely by using passwords and codes that he gained by social engineering. He claims he did not use software programs or hacking tools for cracking passwords or otherwise exploiting computer or phone security. Two books explored the allegations, John Markoffin's Utomu Shimomura's Takedown, and Jonathan Littman's The Fugitive Game. Littman made four main allegations: journalistic impropriety by Markoff, who had covered the case for the New York Times, based on rumor and government claims, while never interviewing Mitnick himself. Overzealous prosecution of Mitnick by the government. Mainstream media overhyping Mitnick's actual crimes. Shimomura's involvement in the matter being unclear or of dubious legality. Further controversy came over the release of the movie based on the book by John Markoffin's Utomu Shimomura, with Littman alleging that portions of the film were taken from his book without permission. In addition, a number of media outlets reported on the unavailability of kosher meals at the prison where he was incarcerated. The case against Mitnick tested the new laws that had been enacted for dealing with computer crime, and it raised public awareness of security involving networked computers. The controversy remains, however, and the Mitnick story is often cited today as an example of the influence that mainstream newspapers can have on the law enforcement personnel. Supporters of Mitnick have asserted that many of the charges against him were fraudulent and not based on actual losses. Media. In 2000, Skeet Ulrich and Russell Wong portrayed Kevin Mitnick and Utomu Shimomura in the movie Trackdown, which was based on the book Takedown by John Markoffin's Utomu Shimomura. The DVD was released in September 2004. A documentary named Freedom Downtime was produced by 2600, the Hacker Quarterly, in response to Takedown. Mitnick is the co-author, with William L. Simon, of two computer security books and his autobiography, The Art of Deception, The Art of Intrusion, The Real Stories Behind the Exploits of Hackers, Intruders and Deceivers, Ghost in the Wires, My Adventures as the World's Most Wanted Hacker. On August 18, 2011, Mitnick appeared on the Colbert Report to talk about his new book. On August 23, Mitnick was interviewed on Coast to Coast AM during the episode Hacking and Technology. On August 24, he appeared on the TWiT TV network's Triangulation episode. On September 12, 2011, Mitnick answered readers' questions on the technology news site Slashdot. This was the second time he was interviewed on Slashdot, the first time being in February 2003. Pop culture references, video games. Mitnick is referenced in one of the in-game emails of the video game Deus Ex: Human Revolution. In the Rockstar video game Grand Theft Auto 3, on the in-game chatterbox radio station, a paranoid caller yells "Free Kevin" before he is cut off by the DJ. In the Rockstar video game Grand Theft Auto: San Andreas, on the in-game WCTO radio station, the same paranoid caller says he could launch a nuclear attack by whistling into a phone, a clear reference to the charges thrown against Mitnick prior to incarceration. In the 2004 video game Vampire: The Masquerade Bloodlines, a character named Mitnick provides optional hacking-related quests. In the Telltale game Sam and Max Save the World, Max makes an offhand comment, "Why can't we find an obscure criminal like Kevin Mitnick?" Graphic novels. The 2012 graphic novel WYSIWYG by Ed Piskor is a close allusion to the story of Mitnick, with the main character's name replaced with Kevin Fenigal. The novel parallels the entire story of Mitnick under the codename Boing Thump, from his early days of phone phreaking, to his exploits in hacking into companies, through to his eventual arrest and Free Kevin campaign, with many of the details of Mitnick's story kept intact. TV. In 2IR, the 11th episode of the second season of TV series Person of Interest, Mitnick is mentioned by a computer teacher. In the 6th episode of the second season of the anime Black Lagoon, the Lagoon Company's resident hacker, Benny, claims after cracking a code, "I'm as great as Kevin Mitnick." See also, List of computer criminals, The Secret History of Hacking, a 2001 documentary film featuring Kevin Mitnick. References. Bibliography, books. Articles. External links, official website, Kevin Mitnick interviewed on the TV show Triangulation on the TWiT TV network.